Good evening, everyone. My name is Neha, and I welcome you all to What Next, an online career guidance webinar hosted by VIBGYOR Group of Schools. Recognized as the best brand of education for 2024 by the Economic Times, VIBGYOR remains committed to guiding students and families through every crucial academic transition. As your child prepares for life beyond grade 10, questions around subject choices, career aspirations, and future opportunities both become exciting as well as overwhelming. Today's session is thoughtfully curated to help your child and you to make informed decisions with clarity and confidence. We are pleased to have with us Ms Ojsvi Sharma, a veteran career counselor from iDreamCareer, who brings a wealth of experience in working with students across the Delhi NCR region. With a bachelor's degree in education and master's in psychology from University of Delhi, specializing in counseling, psychotherapy, and inclusive education, Ms. Sharma is known for her engaging sessions and data-driven approach to student counseling. Her ability to simplify complex choices and present actionable pathways makes her guidance invaluable during this pivotal time. So, in today's session, we are going to explore topics like scope of academic streams, emerging new age careers, informed course and career decisions, and pathways for future ready career success. We are delighted to have you all with us and hope this session brings clarity and direction as your child navigates their academic journey. Over to you, Ms. Ojsvi.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sneha, for such a lovely introduction. Thank you so much, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining. As Sneha has mentioned, I am Ojsvi. I am a career counselor with iDreamCareer. And I've been a career counselor for over 3 years now, and I have been associated with the field of education for overall 5 years. That's about me and where I come from. So I do request, if it is possible for whoever it is possible for, if you can turn on your cameras. It just feels more, it just feels more like an interaction than me just talking to black tiles in front of me. So if it is at all possible, please do that. And I'd like to know, how many students do we have here with us, and how many of you are parents, and where are all of you joining from? So just a little, you've heard a lot about me, about my introduction and where I am from. So I'd like to know a bit about my audience as well. So please feel free to use the chat box, drop any messages, any information that you feel you'd like to. And if you want, you can unmute yourself, or like, I think you'd have to request to unmute, like you can do that too. Sneha, does everybody have the option to turn on their cameras at least?
I don't think so. Just be
Okay.
as attendees, they can't turn on their cameras. They can put in chat. I can help you if I get messages on chat. I can help you with those.
Yes, sure. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Okay, so apparently we only have access to chat, so that's all right. I will be talking to black tiles here, but you all can see me. So I would encourage and expect and request all of you to show your enthusiasm and participation through the chat box. So whatever anyone would like to share about themselves, are you a student or a parent? Where are you from? What brought you to this session? Anything, we can just start the conversation from there. Or if you know what this session is going to be about, although Sneha did introduce the whole session and what it is going to be about, or like what have you come in expecting out of this, anything if we can have. This is just to set the tone, so I understand that how much of my audience is interested in interacting and, like, talking to me and having a engaging session. Or is it just going to be me saying a lot of stuff, talking about a lot of things just like that, and you're all here just to listen? You don't want to engage or participate in this. So you can drop that message as well, that you don't want to like actively participate. You're here to listen whatever I have to say. But I do believe that we learn mostly. Okay, we have a parent from Mumbai. Hello. Hi, Ashi ma'am. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you so much for responding. That's so very kind of and so very nice of you. I do believe that we learn the most when we are interacting rather than just one person talking. I think classrooms also work the best that way. Okay, we are seeing some more messages. Trisha, student from Pune. Hi, Trisha. If you are dropping a text that you're a student, please do mention which grade you are from. And for parents as well, which grade are your kids in? Please do mention that too. I understand that most of the students supposed to join were from 10th, but I think 8th and 9th might also be here. Ashi ma'am's child is in 10th. Neha Hi. Hello, Neha ma'am. Daughter in 10th from Bombay. Yes. Okay. All right. Now we are seeing a lot of texts. Thank you so much, everybody, for engaging. Parents from Mumbai, Pune, student in 10th. Oh, there is somebody from 11th grade as well. Nomi, a student of grade 11. Okay. Hi, Nomi. And Neha ma'am's son is in 8th. Okay, somebody has mentioned that their kid has taken eco math, looking for career options for her. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for sharing. I did ask for what your expectations are. Nomi, 11th grade student, what are your expectations from the session? You do understand that we'll be talking about a holistic view of careers and what all you can look from certain subjects. So, what subjects do you have? All right. So, by the time others, okay, so Han has completed his 10th exams. Okay. Naomi is currently a humanities student. All right, so we do have some students who have completed their 10th, moved to 11th, just in 11th. So I get that. So some people who have just moved to 10th and some who have completed their 10th and moved to 11th. Either ways, I do feel and believe that this session can be fruitful for you. A parent from Bangalore, student is in 9th grade. Hello, thank you so much for joining. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for participating and engaging in the conversation. I really appreciate that. So, as Sneha has already mentioned and has introduced what the session is going to be about, we are going to be talking about scope, about careers, about what all the future holds for us. Wherever you feel that certain point needs to be elaborated upon, or you want to talk more about that point, please feel free to drop in the chat box. Sneha, you can stop me in between because once I will go to the shared screen, I won't be able to see this part. So I won't see if there's a message in the chat box. You can stop me and
Right.
ask the question. I don't mind. In
So,
between, also, I'd appreciate if it is a conversation. If you are asking questions in between, I'm good with that. I don't need
okay,
to keep all questions towards the end. So I'm fine with that.
okay, okay, works.
We can do that. Okay, all right. So, as I was saying, we are going to talk about a lot of things. We are going to start this. As I understand that most of you are in 8th, 9th, and 10th, either entered 10th or completed 10th, similar for all other grades as well. So, there are some pressing questions apart from, these words ki 10th hai, board exams hai, serious ho jao, thoda pad lo, you need to get good grades. These are the important years. Just 2 saal mehnat kar lo, aage fir maze hi maze hain, and all of that. How many of you have heard these statements now? Important year, 10th class, how are you going to manage boards, all of that. We are going to talk a bit about that as well, that these are important years and what are the parameters, what are the areas, what are the points that you need to keep in mind when we think of how to select careers. So for that, what are the skill sets, what are the areas that you need to focus on when we're thinking of that? All right. So in general, when you guys are researching, it's for parents as well as students, this question is open to all of you. When you are researching or trying to get to know more about careers or what would be a good fit for you, what kind of things do you look for? What kind of things and characteristics do you think you look for? What is important to you when it comes to a career? Please feel free to use the chat box. Okay, I'm not seeing any answers yet. I'll ask a simpler question. Okay, career seems like too big of a choice right now. Students, you buy, say, shoes or clothes or something like that. What are the things that you keep in mind when you buy, let's say you're going to buy a pair of shoes? What are the things that you'll keep in mind then? What are the factors you'll consider? So for me, once I think like if the shoe is something which is in trend or not, that is something that I do look for. What else are you guys looking for? Nothing? Are we not buying shoes or are we not sure? No? Okay, fine. I'll move on with my slides. I'll move on with the PPT. And as I said, at any point of time, if you feel that there is something that needs to be addressed further. Okay, somebody has responded. Something that is interesting and of course, high paying as well. How much of scope is there and how long is the course? Oh, okay. So you're talking about the career. How do you select your career? Okay. I thought ki, why do we need to see which shoes are high paying? I got that. Okay. Okay. Yes. So high paying, scope. Money is also, I would say, a part of the scope only. So if a career has, say, good scope in future, the money will follow, I believe. We'll check multiple options and check for the best one. Okay. Thank you so much, Sohan. Thanks for responding, Sohan and Ashi both. Thank you. Right. So as I said, I'll move on with my slides. I think, I don't know. Interest, job growth, income. Trisha, okay, all right, thank you. I do feel that there's a lag in when I'm getting responses from your end. Maybe it takes time to for you guys also to type it down and send it. So I get it. Like this is not the most effective way of communicating, that me talking and expecting the answers right away. I understand that. Nivedita ma'am, thank you so much for joining. You're a mother of a 10th grade student, science math taken. Okay, from Mumbai. Thank you so much for joining. All right. So what we are here to discuss today, as briefly we have talked about how to plan your careers, what are the factors, what are the things that you need to keep in mind to do so, how to choose your subjects in 11th grade. I understand this is a important and a very pressing question right now, apart from boards mein kaisa karenge or boards kaise denge, etc. And careers linked to certain subject choices. So if you're planning to pick any particular careers, what kind of, subjects, what kind of careers can you look into from those? These will be our major agendas or major points of discussion for today. Right? So, like I was saying, what factors should student or parent consider when choosing a career? Some of you have dropped some answers. Okay, some of you have dropped some answers like scope, high paying, checking multiple options, job, growth, income, interest. These factors you have already mentioned. So I agree with almost all of these factors. And these are the 7 most vital factors when it comes to career planning, right? So these are the things or areas that you need to consider or keep in mind when you are picking or choosing a career or a domain or a field for yourself. Okay. There are 2 ways to go about things. One, you understand what subjects you like, you pick those subjects, and then you decide what careers this subject can offer. We'll talk about that later. So if you're picking these subjects, what careers it has. Another way to look at it is also what careers you are interested in. So I see myself, let's say, as a pilot. I see myself as an artist. I see myself as a dancer. What areas do you see yourself in? Then we backtrack from there. What subjects can be associated to it, right? So here, when we talk about career planning and the most vital factors when it comes to career plannings, these are the 5 factors that are most important. First and foremost, of course, your skill sets are important. You want to become a sports person, you want to become a mathematician, you want to become a designer, you want to become an artist, whatever it is, your skill set, your ability to do something, your how good, how refined you are in that area is very important. Skills is not something that you are automatically naturally born with, or skills is not something that does not need to be taught. Skill is something that we refine over time. Skill is something that we work very hard on, right? So let's say if you want to become a sports person, having played a few state level or national level matches by the time you complete your 12th grade or by the time you complete your school is very important, because it hones your skills. It shows the other university or the other academy or the other team which you are planning to join after your school that you have worked on these skills consistently throughout the years. So that is where skill set, of course, comes in. And this skill is true for all fields, by the way. If you want to become a mathematician, you do need to practice mathematics daily and regularly. You want to become a writer or an author, English, right? Apart from skill, there is aptitude, of course. Your aptitude is now aptitude is our innate ability or capacity, something that we are sort of born with, right? Aptitude, I hope all of you have all of you would understand when I say this. There are some things that automatically come to you, right? Naturally. Like for example, I was always someone who struggled with mathematics, right? Despite getting good marks in maths, decent marks in math, I struggled with math. Reason being that I had to put in a lot of effort to do mathematics, to score as much as say my friends or the toppers in the classroom or others in the class were scoring. To score as much, I had to put in a lot more effort than they had to. So that is where the aptitude comes in. We all have different levels of aptitude. I am somebody who, now again, I'm taking myself as an example because I'm seeing the lag in communication conversation, and I understand we are on a time crunch. So I thought that this would be a better way. But please, if you want to share your own examples in this case, please at any point of time, feel free to drop in a text with your own examples. I'd really appreciate that. But I was always good with areas like biology, psychology, or English, right? So I never had to put in that much effort to score very well in these areas. This is where aptitude comes in. Some of us have innate abilities to do numbers, numericals, or some of us have abilities to communicate well, be good in verbal. Areas which we are automatically or naturally good in are called aptitude. Aptitude अगर किसी area में अच्छा है, उसमें थोड़े effort से भी you see better results. But if your aptitude is lagging in certain areas, effort in those areas have to be increased much more, right? Then of course interest. We all know if you're not interested in something, you'll not be motivated. Your parents will keep on telling you padh lo, padh lo, padh lo, but you just feel like mera money nahi hai. I'm not even interested in studying about this, right? So interest of course matters. Your values and motivation. What are the values that you're getting from your family or in general? Like some of us want to do something with society, serve the nation, serve the society. Some of us are brought up with those values. Now again, values, nothing is right or wrong when it comes to values. Some of us prioritize money over other things. Some of us prioritize safety, security over other things. Some of us prioritize stability over other things, and some of us prioritize social work or society over other things. So these sort of values also matter. And then when it comes to motivation, like I said, an interest as well, it can be internal or external. Internally, I feel motivated about something, I'll be able to do that for a longer period of time or for a long run. Whereas if somebody else has to push me or force me into doing something, I might not be able to do that for a very long time, right? Your personality, 100% it matters. We think that personality doesn't matter in career planning. That's not true. If you are somebody who does not like to wake up too early or follow a lot of instructions or follow a set path or follow orders in a certain way, and you go into defense services, you are in for a ride. If you are the kind of person who's more laid back, easygoing, want to do things at your own pace, and you are pushed into serving into army or air force or navy, you are going to get a ride there. Your contacts and networks, of course, 100% they impact what careers and what areas we will be into. You see things around you, you see people and careers around you, your parents, friends of your parents, your relatives, etc. All of this is your network. This helps you grow further, right? This helps you understand what areas or what fields according to them would be great. What fields can they help you in? Let's say family already has a business, so taking that business forward, or business of a relative or somebody is very interesting, so you are more likely to get inclined towards it. And your location, access to information, like VIBGYOR is so very kind and so very nice of them to organize this session to provide more information to you, right? For those of you who might not have been able to join this session or who missed out on certain information, would not know about the opportunities that follow, right? So to understand what options and opportunities I have, I need to have the information first. So if you have access to information, that also determines and defines what careers you can look into in future. Now, a few things, few points that you need to keep in mind when it comes to selecting your subjects in 11th. Subjects you love, this is where interest comes in. Subject you are good at, as in you have skill and the aptitude for the subject. Okay. Subjects that keep your dream job open, and the basis for college or university you want, as in your eligibility criteria. Now, there are two things when it comes to subject selection, two very important things I want you to pay attention here. There is something called a skill requirement and there is something called an eligibility requirement. I'll take an example. For, let's say, engineering, if you want to become an engineer, eligibility requirement is for you to have physics, chemistry, and mathematics. By eligibility, I mean you will not be eligible to sit for the exam, give the paper, or get ahead with the course if you do not have these three subjects in your school. So that becomes an eligibility criteria. Versus if we look at chartered accountancy, now I'm taking these because these two careers I feel is something that everybody would know about. That's why I'm taking the more traditional ones here. Chartered accountancy, let's say, for chartered accountancy, you do need mathematics and accountancy as a good strong, like as a strong point for you, like because for qualifying all the examinations, these will become the core subjects of it, but it is not an eligibility criteria. So say if I have psychology, political sciences, history, economics, etc., I don't have maths or accountancy, I can still sit for the exam, and if I can study and qualify, I can qualify. Nobody is stopping me. There is no eligibility criteria, but there is a skill element there that accountancy and mathematics will be needed to qualify the exam. Similarly, for NDA, army as well. If you want to go into army, you don't necessarily need science. You can be from any stream. You can have commerce, sciences, humanities, a combination of all, anything you can have. With that combination, you can give the exam, but the paper will have physics, chemistry, and mathematics in the exam. So the skill of sciences will be much more required. I hope I'm able to make that clear. So when you select your subjects, based on what future career options, course options, university options you're looking at, look at these two things. Are your subjects helpful either in eligibility or as building your skill set for future? All right. Okay. I'm again reiterating here, if at any point, if it feels like, and also Sneha, I have a habit of talking fast. I'm also working on that habit. So if at any point you feel that I'm running through something, please do stop me and let me know.
Sure, sure, certainly.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody had already mentioned that scope, we look at scope when it comes to what career we want to get into. What is scope? What, according to you, what is the idea of scope? है क्या scope? And how do you determine, or how do you define scope in your, you know, according to you, how do you figure out something has scope or doesn't have scope, or something is risky or not risky? Yeah, you can drop your answers in the chat box. I'd appreciate participation at this point. I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. I understand some people might be typing. Anyone, what do you understand by scope? Because this is a very common term. You've all heard it. How much need of that particular field will be there in future? Yes. Okay. All right, Ashi. What will be the requirement or need of this career in future? And Ashi, how do you determine that this will be an important career in future? Iski to pakka need hogi hi hogi. Where can the study be applied? Okay. Yes. So the subjects that you're studying, how vastly or how much in different fields it can be applied? Yes, I agree. Thank you so much, Nivedita. So Ashi, I was asking, how do you determine that future may what will be needed? Okay, Ashi has said that medicine, like medicine, we'll always need it. Okay, all right. So health sector, we'll always need that. So scope is largely defined by you as well. Okay, with the world that we are entering, as we have already talked about in the previous slide, that your skill set, your aptitude, your motivation, your interest, it will promote you or encourage you to grow in a certain field, to keep on researching in a certain field, to keep on making yourself better in a certain field. And that is what is important in the coming time. If we are not bettering ourselves, if we are not improving ourselves, there is always going to be the next generation or somebody else who knows better than us and will make us redundant, will make us not important for the job anymore, right? So scope is something that you define yourself as well. It is important that we think beyond the idea of just scope too. There are some areas, overall some areas like nutrition, pollution, waste and safety, which will always be the talk of the town, the important discussions that need to be had, especially in the coming time, like something Ashi had mentioned, healthcare sector or medicine. We can call it overall as nutrition or safety comes under that. Now, these are the areas which will always be something that will require human connection or require some sort of solution there. Can you think of some careers or some fields, some areas from nutrition? Can anybody think of a few examples? When it comes to nutrition, so of course, nutritionist, dietitian, any other careers you can think of which will have good. Okay. So when it comes to nutrition, chef, agriculturist, public policy, food technology, nutrition, these areas, this is something which will always be there, which will always be needed when we move forward in life, right? Similarly, when it comes to pollution, environment, environmental preservation, management of the environment, etc., all of these environmental activists, economists, environmental laws, public policy again, sustainability. Sustainability is such an important topic and such an important discussion that we need to have these days. Otherwise, we are leading towards a world where we might not have a world to care for anymore, right? Similarly, when it comes to pollution, we are trying to reduce that. So engineering in areas like petroleum, automobile, environmental engineering, law, there is environmental law as well, right? We're working towards that too. And safety like law, psychology. Now, safety overall is for the safety of society. There are these fields. Somebody has health food manufacturer, Nivedita has said, Abhishek has said, apart from traditional jobs, which also include IT related jobs, what are new venues which kids can explore in which colleges in India? We are getting to that point, Abhishek. We are just in the beginning of the discussion. We are getting to that point. We might not be able to cover every single point of your question, like which specific colleges for your child would be the best ones, or if you're a student for you would be the best ones. But yeah, we will be touching upon those topics. Environmental consultant, very well said, Jagdish. Research analyst, yes, we do need researchers more now. So I don't know how many of you have heard, but I think a year and a half or like 2 years ago, there was this scientists have revived zombie virus from the ice caps. Now, why do you think that would have happened? I have asked too big of a question. Now there will be a delay in the response. Okay, I'll give the answer. I'm sorry, because I do see the clock ticking as well, and I want to stick to the time, and I don't want to miss out on other important questions and topics that will come forward. So, basically, we are saying that we are reaching the tipping point of environmental change. We are reaching a point where we'll not be able to stop environmental degradation after a certain point. So for that, the scientists are saying that it is becoming inevitable that the ice caps of the glaciers will melt. So it is something that we have to be prepared for. Now, there are a lot of viruses and bacteria in dormant stages in those ice caps that will come towards humanity, that will come towards us. So to be well prepared, now when of course COVID happened, we were on the lesser prepared side of things. So to be well prepared, to have medicines, vaccinations in place for all of that is why we are doing researches on glaciers, on ice caps, and what kind of bacteria and viruses are those holding on to, right? So this is again, like you said, research. So areas like research, microbiology, all of this becomes important. Areas like environment and understanding and stopping this from happening, preserving the environment becomes even more important. So these are very little things. Students who are here, I would request, if you do read newspapers, if you read what is happening around you, what is happening in the world, you would know a lot more about what careers and what new age options are coming up for you, right? You like space tourism, it is going to be an industry in itself. Elon Musk has been trying to start a program in space tourism all on its own. Apart from that, I don't know how many of you are aware, but a team of I think 5 or 6 females, US females, went for like this tour of space. So like a 11-minute space ride sort of a thing. So like a car ride you would take from your home to like market. They took a ride from Earth to space and then came back to the space station and then came back. So yes, it is becoming a big thing, space tourism, but space tourism will bring in a lot more problems as well, as it will cause more degradation to the environment, as more fuel, more pollution will be created because of that. So how can we create sustainable fuel materials, sustainable ways to travel the space? Or if you want to become a space traveler yourself, how can you do all of that, right? So you don't necessarily have to be an astronaut. I don't know how many of you know Katy Perry here. She's a singer, actor, a lot of other things, and she's a space traveler now, right? So these careers, these areas are coming up in the future. I would request you all, if you can just be aware, keep an open mind to whatever is happening around you. Okay, whatever you are in your societies, in internationally, in India, wherever, if you're just aware about those discussions as well, you yourself would start seeing what careers and new age options are coming up for you. All right. Okay. All right. So how often do you think generally we, or this generation, or the generation that is in the workforces now, do you think they're following a straight path, like jo degree kiya usi mein hi aage they are building a career? I'm sure you all would have heard a lot of such cases where somebody started as an engineer and now has a food tech business, or somebody started as a doctor and is now running a farm, or somebody who started as something else and is now doing something completely different. This is the new normal. Earlier, in your parents or grandparents' generations, it was very normal to stay in one job for a very long period of time, stick with one career for a very long period of time. But now, to develop your skill set and match with the demands of the market, because every other day certain things and careers are becoming redundant. So you don't have to worry as much when you select your career today that this is going to be the 20 or 50 years of your life. No, this might be the next 5 or 10 years of your life. Then you might find something different and switch to that, and that is completely all right. That is completely okay. In the coming future, scope will keep on changing. You need to keep on changing with it. You need to keep on developing and building your skill sets with it. 53% of engineering graduates, only 53% of engineering graduates continue their first job in the domains that are linked to their undergraduate programs. 68% of graduates, completely different career paths they are following after 5 years of their graduation. and 80% of qualified doctors pursue medicine in India. Well, what is happening to the rest 20% is a question here, right? So these things are important for us to note as well. This is the for parents too, because sometimes for parents to understand and adjust to the fact that this is not going to be the rest of the life for the child. The subject and the career that they're choosing today might feel a little, a little difficult to adjust with as an idea, but this is the reality of what we are entering now. All right. The favorite question. I think everywhere, wherever you go, you're seeing this debate, you're seeing this discussion. Now, how many of you can raise your hand? You have that option here. I think that will be easier and quicker to communicate. How many of you have heard this question? That AI is going to take over jobs, AI is reducing the jobs, AI will have a huge impact on what we are going to do in future. Okay, so raising hand is a better way of communicating. I should be doing more yes and no questions then. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for responding. How many of you believe in this statement, that this statement is true, that AI will take over jobs and AI will take over, very few. 2 people only believe in the statement. Okay. Okay. Oh, all right. There are more. To an extent. Okay. All right. We do see AI seeping into our lives and getting more, I mean, mindlessly, we are providing personal and work information to AI as well. I'm sure um, a lot of you students are using AI to write your assignments and, do a lot of work for you as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. AI will become a supporting tool in life for sure, like it has become today. When it comes to discussions about artificial intelligence, the discussion has to be from both ends, from both sides, and we are starting and getting into that point. Students who are not interested in computers and artificial intelligence and areas related to technology as much, you don't have to worry. Your lives and jobs are not going to be something ki jinki value nahi hogi aage aane wale time mein. You'd equally have responsibilities, but you'll have to learn to live with AI for multiple reasons. One, your jobs will have artificial intelligence integrated to it. It can write articles, it can write news reports, it can write books, but it needs the right prompt. If you're somebody who's really good with English and wants to do something in literature, in writing, etc., AI can be a very good supporting tool. It cannot produce new ideas. The idea has to be yours. The story, the originality of the story has to be yours. You read a book for the story in it. You don't read it just for the words in it, right? AI is providing you support with the words. You all saw this trend of Ghibli art all over your feeds, all over your Instagram, right? The effort that has went behind into developing that art form over the years and having that art form is the original work. AI is replicating the same art. It is not creating a new art form. The art form, the artist style that already exists, it is replicating that. How many of you have seen that 5-star ka ad that they have recently launched, where they are filling internet with these random and ekdami weird websites and answers? Has anybody seen that ad that Cadbury 5-star has come up with that? Okay, somebody has. A few hands have raised there. People who had their hands raised for the previous question, I please request if you can put your hands down, because then it becomes a little confusing for me. So for those of you who have not seen it, it's on YouTube. You can go back and check out as well. I'll just give you a brief, a gist of what it is. So basically what they're doing is they're saying, like, make AI redundant again. We as humans, we need to get into, humans processing and humans doing all the work rather than giving AI all the credit for doing something. So AI processes its information throughout the internet, wherever the information is available. So they're putting these random websites, like there is this graph with X and Y and a dot that says Z. And when the question says find Z, it has just an arrow that says there's Z. So it's like, that's not how you find the answer for that, but that is what they're doing with these websites now, right? So as much how do I say it? Unnecessary and unwanted information will be dumped and loaded onto the internet, which happens every single day. That many chances of AI to make mistakes will increase, which means human touch, human will be needed there to counter check what AI is doing, or to produce new facts or new information, or new creative solutions to anything. So to answer the question, yes, AI will impact jobs in future. There are certain jobs that might feel that they might not be needed in the future. Like for example, we do see that even this, if we want to transcribe this whole, a lot of yours, like Mira apna Otter AI is also somehow joined this meeting. It will give me a whole transcription of the meeting after this, right? And might send it to some of yours emails as well. I'm sorry about that. So earlier, the jobs like, let's say, stenographers, yeah, people who used to type everything down, the discussions that are happening in courts or discussions that are happening during meetings, etc., might not be needed anymore because it can pick up directly from what you're talking about as well, right? That is just one example. Of course, I'm not targeting any one job. That is just an example of it, right? So yes, it will have an impact on some jobs. It will have impact on all jobs, by the way. Extent to which it will have an impact, that varies, right? That is where future of work comes in. What are the new age careers? What are the fields that will exist? What are the things that we need to take care of? I have already told you the best way to do that: be aware about your surroundings, be aware what is happening around you. We were discussing about artificial intelligence. I don't know how many of you have heard this or not, but for a long time there has been an ongoing strike and discussion in Hollywood that basically they're trying to create AI replicas of certain artists and actors and all, so that those replicas can be used in other movies as well. So the discussion is about taking away the creative freedom or the artistry from the artist itself, right? There are a lot of humanitarian rights that are being violated when it comes to artificial intelligence. Not just that, it is causing a huge load on the environment as well. Okay. So OpenAI recently gave a statement as well. I don't know, it was a 2-3 days ago only. How many of you have heard this? Please tell me. That writing please and thank you is causing excessive load on our environment as well as their machinery. Especially when they started generating Ghibli art images, the servers crashed. There was a lot of problem at that time as well, right? So it does have its own problems too. Factors that are shaping up your future: technological process, of course, progress, of course, we are seeing, not just in artificial intelligence, we are seeing technological progress everywhere. You enter a room, you say, Alexa, turn on the TV and turn on the AC and dim the lights and do this and do that. This is called Internet of Things. Amazon has been constantly working on developing a model where they can start delivering products through drones. Okay, so वो human connection बीच में से खत्म करके through drones they want to start delivering products. इसमें जितना इंजीनियरिंग इन्वॉल्व है उतना ही बायोलॉजी इन्वॉल्व है, बिकॉज देयर इज अ स्पेसिफिक स्पीशीज ऑफ स्पाइडर. प्लीज डोंट आस्क मी द नेम ऑफ द स्पीशीज. आई वाज नेवर गुड विद नेम ऑफ स्पीशीज इन स्कूल. आई एम नॉट गुड विद इट टुडे एज वेल. You can go back and check this piece of information news on internet as well. So there's this specific species of the spider which has a lot of strength in their legs, right? So they can lift a lot more than their body weight. So they're using that as an example to develop their drones. So huge weights can be carried through drones and delivered to your doorsteps as well. So these things are happening. People from different fields of lives, from different areas like biology and technology and other domains as well, are coming together to create such marvels, create such technology, right? Globalization, climate change, we have talked about it. I cannot emphasize on this enough. It is such an important domain. If you're somebody who is very invested in, plants, botany, and generally about preserving the environment and how you can create a healthy environment in future, you can look into this domain. It is something that is going to be a part of all of your life. आप fashion designer बनना चाहते हैं? Great. You have to develop clothing that is sustainable, because we have created such a huge dump on our earth with the fast fashion. We wear, we throw, we wear, we throw. Where is that dump going? On our earth only, right? So if you're interested in fashion design, you need to come up with sustainable ways. If you're interested in automobile engineering, you need to come up with sustainable ways. Less fuel is used. Less spare parts are thrown around. Even if you're interested in space and space technology, there is so much space debris right now. Finding a way to reduce that can also be something that you can look at. COVID-19 and similar other problems, like I have mentioned, we are facing a time where we are entering the unknown. We don't really know what the future holds, what kind of problems might arise. Let's hope not, but might come up in future. We have to be prepared for that, right? Social changes, such a big thing. The generational changes and the generational gaps we are seeing are so humongous. The time our parents and grandparents, the kind of difference in opinions they had versus the opinions that you and your parents, the difference that you might have, it's huge. All right. Employers are saying they don't want to hire Gen Z because they have certain ways of life that they want to live it by. Credit card debts are at an all-time high because the current generation feels let's treat ourselves today. Pata nahi kal duniya rahegi ya nahi rahegi. That's the mindset that we are living in today. Earlier generations used to think future ke liye bacha lo. So all these changes, the social shift, not just financially, in all other ways. So this also should make you understand that social sciences and humanities is also such an important domain. You cannot study finance or you cannot discuss technology independent of social sciences, independent of how it is impacting humans and society, right? So these are going to be important factors which will shape what the future and future of work will look like. How you can prepare for it: learning skills. I have mentioned this already. Things are going to change. You will have to switch paths, careers, jobs. You will have to keep on learning. Improving on your skills is the best way to move forward. सॉफ्ट स्किल्स सीखना बहुत जरूरी है. सॉफ्ट स्किल्स में आपके पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट जैसे एरियाज, कम्युनिकेशन, यू बीइंग एबल टू pitch something, marketing, in fact, marketing yourself as a good employee or as a good business is also very important, right? Taking advantage of the next gen technology, you have to be comfortable with the technology. Now, I used to think of myself as somebody who does not want to engage too much with technology. Since I have started working or entered the field of or the space of work, I have had so many new apps that I have to engage with every single day, so many new websites that I have to go through every single day. If you feel you're somebody who struggles with technology, you have to find a way to be okay with it, at least to a point where your work is not impacted. All right. I'll just take a few minute pause before because now we are getting into the proper subjects and what kind of careers those subjects open up for you. So I'll just take a minute's pause to give everybody time to breathe and think if there are any thoughts, any comments, any questions, anything that you'd like to ask. Okay, I think anything that is in the chat box currently, I have addressed all of that. Sneha, please do let me know if I miss out on anything on the chat box. Huh?
Yes, you've addressed everything that is there till now.
Okay.
I'm on it, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Okay, so if there isn't anything, although I don't appreciate not having any questions, usually questions are a good marker that we are listening and we have some things that we'd like to add. But okay, I hope towards the end of this discussion, we might have a few. Okay, so careers and the specific subjects that link to those careers. Now we are entering, talking about that.
I have one
Sorry.
question if you want
Okay.
to.
Yeah, yes.
So
Yes.
Pranjal is a student of 10th grade and she's confused between two career options. What will she
Okay.
do?
So Pranjal, first of all, that's not enough information to go on. And I understand your confusion and I empathize with you on that. But this is something personal questions regarding two career options or three areas that you're confused in or something like that is something that can be well addressed in a more one-on-one discussion with your counselors or with your school. This will be an overview. Let's move forward. Let's hear about all the careers that I'm talking about. Maybe I'll cover what you want to talk about there. If it is still left, if it is a career that I don't talk about here, you can drop the name in the chat box. I'll take it up later. All right. Okay. Right. So starting with mathematics, my favorite subject, not really, but I think people who can do math are superstars. Even if you can't do math, you are a superstar still. I believe I am. So I do know you are too. So mathematics needs to be treated as an independent subject. Mathematics in itself opens up a lot of career domains for you. This is math with any domain, any stream. This can be math with science. This can be math with humanities. This can be math with commerce. This can be math with any sort of combination. All right. Now, under this, some things you might have already heard of, like, for example, finance as an area you would have heard of, right? Statistician, economics, commerce courses like BCom, business management. These areas you would have already heard of or known of. There is a career here mentioned as actuarial sciences. Oh, sorry. As actuarial sciences. Anybody has heard of actuarial science? You can raise your hand and let me know. This is one of those careers which has increased a lot in the last 10-20 years and is something which is supposed to increase further in the coming future as well. So career of the future, if you might say. It's currently also pretty much at its boom and has been growing pretty tremendously for the last few years. Okay, so how many of you understand the concept of insurance here, like health insurance, car insurance, home insurance? You understand what an insurance is? Okay, some people have raised their hands. Okay, all right. I'll ask a question with the answer for which can be given in short, so that हम chat box में थोड़ा discussion कर सकें. So let's say there is somebody who's a 26-year-old and has a job and health-wise doing fine, doing well, and has a steady income coming in. Versus there is somebody who's 60 years old and has pension, retired now. Who do you think will have to pay lesser premium on a health insurance? Now, if you do understand the concept of insurance, you'll understand what premium is. If you don't, please do let me know, or I'll just give you how it is. So if you get a car insurance, I pay, let's say 10,000 for a car insurance. Everything is insured in that, in case of any damages during an accident, if the car gets stolen, etc., etc. Company will take care of all of that. Similar for health insurance as well. I pay either yearly or every 6 months or 4 months, depends. And jitna bhi uska cover hai, 2 lakh, 10 lakh, whatever your cover is, for that amount, I pay a certain amount every year or every 6 months. Based on that, if I ever fall sick or if I ever, God forbid, have to be admitted to a hospital or need to be taken care of medically, the insurance company will take care of the bills. That's what insurance is and premium is. So who do you think will have to pay a lesser premium amount? The 60-year-old or the 26-year-old? Or let's say 30, let's make it easier. The 30-year-old or the 60-year-old in a health insurance? You can just write 30 or 60. I'd understand that. 30 would have to pay a less premium. Okay, 30. Mostly I 30. Would anybody be so kind to write like one line why the 30? Ashi has said 60. Whoever is saying 30 or 60, would you be so kind to write just one line why you think 30-year-old would have to pay less or 60-year-old would have to pay less? Or is it again a question which will require too much time to write down in the chat box? I guess it is one of those questions. Okay. So yes, those of you who have responded, the 30-year-old will have to pay lesser premium. So companies do this risk analysis sort of thing, where they check that the 25-year-old or the 30-year-old has a steady income first, so will be able to continue paying the premium. Yes, so Nomi has said the 60-year-old is rather prone to diseases, hence increasing the chance, availing the amount of coverage. Yes, very rightly said so. So risk company ko zyada hai is case mein, that they might have to pay back to the 60-year-old much sooner, or there might be some conditions that needs to be taken care of much earlier rather than the 30-year-old. So this is an example of what actuaries do. Actuaries you will find mostly in the insurance sector, but they do work in risk analysis for other fields and companies too. बट इंश्योरेंस में क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा रिस्क पर काम होता है, इसलिए वहां पर ज्यादा कवरेज होता है. यू वुड हैव हर्ड दीस फ्रेजेस दैट इंश्योरेंस डजंट कवर. लेट्स से अगर आप घर गाड़ी का ले रहे हैं तो नेचुरल कॉजेस, if anything is caused due to any natural calamity, natural effect, that won't be covered in the insurance, right? So these policy instruments are designed by actuaries, and actuarial sciences is one of the highest paying jobs in the country, one of the high paying jobs in the country, because of the reason that they earn per instrument that is being sold, and they have to analyze every single instrument. Mathematics is an important subject here because it is highly statistics driven. So you have to, this is just very basic. Age is just one thing that we have talked about here, that because they are younger, that's why they'd have to pay less, because health crisis kam hoga. But what if the younger person here has some genetic condition? What if the younger person here lives in a city like Delhi, which has like pollution off the charts, and the elder one, the person who's 60 years old, lives somewhere in the mountains, breathes clean air, has no issues physically whatsoever? Then again, every single factor has to be kept in mind. Not just that, even the vehicles that you drive have to be kept in mind, because road accidents more prone for two-wheelers than for four-wheelers, etc. All of that, there's too much information that has to be kept in mind and then done. Actuarial sciences, the exams for it are very difficult, very tough examinations, right? So you have to take care of that. Mathematics, when we talk about this, there are certain institutes. Now, actuarial science, you won't get as BSc degree in a lot of colleges. Certain private universities do offer actuarial science as a degree, but you don't necessarily need that. It's like a certification course. You just qualify all the exams and you can practice as an actuary, but you do need a degree with it. So for that, you can consider topmost institutes in the country would be ISI, which is Indian Statistical Institutes. And a lot of IITs do also offer mathematics degrees. BSc in mathematics, etc. IISc in Bangalore also have mathematics degree, but for IITs and IISCs, they usually look into science with mathematics, right? But apart from that, ISI, which is Indian Statistical Institute, you can have mathematics with any combination of subjects, and you can look at that as an option. And other central universities, so of course, like Maharashtra universities, colleges under Maharashtra University or Delhi University, etc. All those options, so you definitely have. Then comes the PCM, physics, chemistry, mathematics, the domain which we all have heard that has most scope open in it. We hear that it has most scope open in it, but somehow still surprisingly, we end up only hearing about engineering as the only option. No? We think of engineering, we think of PCM as something that has maximum options, but end up picking just engineering as our only option. Of course, engineering is a great field. Engineering is one of the very important areas, but under engineering as well, there are certain areas of engineering like we have talked about earlier. There is chemical and petroleum engineering. There is environmental engineering. These areas are booming right now. There is electrical and electrical communication engineering. This is important. India is in the process of establishing its first semiconductor chip plant in Dholera, Gujarat. Tata is doing that. Tata Electronics is doing that. And currently their team is they're all, under training for that, and they're all working towards it, which means we will become the one of very few countries which are doing this, which are producing their own semiconductors. And semiconductors, by the way, for those of you who are familiar with technology, I also personally got to know about this information very recently. So semiconductor, everything that you use, everything electronic, your ACs, TVs, fridges, remotes, phones, laptops, anything that you use, everything has a semiconductor chip in it, right? So we are starting that, which means electrical engineering, electrical communication engineering will become important in future. Architecture, merchant navy, of course. I hope everybody here knows about merchant navy. Indian Air Force and Indian Navy are specifically mentioned here. Air Force and Navy, you do need PCM only to get into. I had mentioned this earlier as well. Army ke liye, you don't need any specific subjects. Skill set, yes, science would be good, but as an eligibility, science is not necessary to get into army. All right. You can get into defense services two ways. One, you can get into it as a soldier. And second, you can get into it as an engineer. So for that, there is separate technical entry scheme if you want to get into it as an engineer. And for that, to become an engineer in the defense, you need PCM only. Then physics, chemistry, math is important in that case, right? Computer sciences, very important field. Biotechnology is such an upcoming area right now. Now, biotechnology, environmental sciences, food tech, forensic sciences, pharmacology, the ones that you're seeing 2 stars in front of, these are the areas and careers that are open to you through both PCM as well as PCB. Either ways, these careers in these areas will be open to you. All of these are very important fields. Anybody understands biotechnology here? I'll wait for the answer in the chat box. Anybody, you can raise your hand if you know what. Okay. Ashi, quickly type down what is biotechnology. Give me an example of biotechnology. Somebody has asked, meanwhile, somebody has asked, what is the best way to do MBA, regular executive from foreign country? Which college should we choose? That's given it. So I thought this was a session for school students. I am not sure if discussing about MBA, if this is the right platform to discuss about MBA right now. Because if you're asking for a student, for a 10th student, I'd say it's too early to decide anything. And if you're asking for yourself, I'd say we can have maybe another discussion for that later. Jagdish has responded, genetic related tech. Okay. Using biological organism to make products. Yes, very good, Ashi. Can you give me an example? Cloning, production of, okay. Bread, yes, great. Bread, because you need yeast. Yeast is the bacteria that ferments the dough and turns it into bread. Similarly, lactobacillus, which turns milk into curd. So basically using biological agents or biological organisms to create something new, to create a new product, comes under biotechnology. Food technology, as you would see, Tetra packaging is an example of food technology. The milk that you get in your normal plastic packets, that will go bad much sooner than the ones in Tetra Pak, right? So large quantity production, storage, distribution, all of that comes under food tech, and how it will be managed comes under food tech. Shelf life of a Tetra packed product is higher than the shelf life of a product packed in, let's say, the plastic packets that you see of milk or something else, right? Okay, forensic sciences. I know that these days students find this area very interesting, very engaging. How many of you know that CID is on Netflix now? Has anybody tried watching it? Or is this generation too young for CID or to understand what CID was? Because me and my generation know what CID was, and we have unfortunately watched it too. But it was fun at that time. So there is this character in CID who's the forensic scientist, the doctor. Although it is highly exaggerated in the show, what he does, but forensic sciences is a very serious, very important domain. Forensics can be looked into through both options. Forensics can be looked into through PCB or PCM. Reason being, when there are any criminal cases where, let's say, a gunshot or a wound is there, in those cases, the angle, the speed, all of that comes under the physics part of it, the forensic scientists who understand that better. And the anatomy part of it, how it affected the body, how it entered the body, what harm it caused, all of that comes under the biology part of it. Somebody has asked environmental engineering colleges courses in India. For colleges, you can look at UPES, which is in Dehradun. You can also look at Shulini University. They're doing a very good job in terms of sustainability. Environmental engineering and petroleum engineering, etc. These fields you will currently find mostly in private universities than the national government universities. Reason being, thoda national government universities ko catch up karne mein thoda it takes, because they have systems, they have traditional ways of doing things, so it takes them some time. But yeah, there are certain private universities like UPES or Shulini that you can look at. All right. So towards the end, we can discuss this if we have some time. Okay. So yeah, that is about this. And I hope there are no more questions here. Moving forward, which is PCB, physics, chemistry, biology. Again, you can stop me at any point of time if you feel that we're running too fast, there is something that needs to be discussed. PCB, we always assume PCB लिया है तो मतलब डॉक्टर ही बनना है या मेडिसिन में ही जाना है. We have just discussed an example of how research is such an important field, how we are reviving certain dead and dormant stages viruses so that we can, we can be more prepared, we can create vaccines. Vaccines are also another example of biotechnology, by the way, right? But apart from that, agriculture, nutrition areas are also very and equally important these days. Agriculture is the future because we are trying to create more production as population is increasing. We need better fertilizers, better products, how we can create better equipments to help us with the agricultural fields as well. Please understand, if you're planning to give the NEET exam, which is important when it comes to PCB as a domain, if you're planning to give the NEET exam, then in that case, under NEET, you also have alternate medicine, which is Ayurveda, Unani, homeopathy, etc. All of that also comes under NEET. And apart from NEET and medicine areas, there is allied medicine as well. Now, under allied medicine, as the name suggests, the word allies, allied medicine offers nursing, physiotherapy, areas like radiology, radiotherapy, medical technician, all of those areas comes under allied medicine, right? To briefly discuss about what kind of colleges and universities nationally you can look at. Of course, when it comes to PCM, when it comes to engineering specifically, you do look at JEE and IITs, of course. IITs ke alawa, there are NITs and triple ITs, which are, now we are discussing the national level ones only. Specific to your need, we can discuss later in some other session or later after this discussion. So those, of course, are the top ones. Apart from that, when it comes to medicine, areas of medicine, NEET is the only exam that you have to give or can give to get admission into MBBS or BDS dental anywhere in the country. But if you're somebody who's interested in research, in science, in biology, physics, chemistry, in research of any sort, IISc is top one in research, which is in Bangalore. IISc does have a BTech course, a very interesting BTech that has come up in the recent years, which is called BTech Mathematical Computational Mathematics, right? So it's a combination of maths and computers. If you're interested in that, you can look at that as well. BITS also offers the same. IISER, IISER, and NICER, NISER, are also some of the top research institutes in the country. If you are interested in looking at BSc as your options, BSc, MSc, and then in future going forward. So IISERs, NICERs, these are the top research institutes for sciences when it comes to research in the country. All right. Moving forward to commerce as a domain and areas that we can look at in commerce. Of course, chartered accountancy, the age old, which we have always heard of, which is still relevant and is going to be relevant in future as well, without any doubt. Chartered accountancy is an important field and becomes so prestigious because the stamp of a chartered accountant becomes legally valid, becomes very important overall. So that's why as well. But apart from that, sustainability has come into commerce related areas as well. There is something called sustainability management or a sustainability manager. Now, these are important areas, right? Sustainability manager, because all corporates are legally bound to have some sort of sustainability management, because the kind of harm that they're causing, the kind of carbon footprint that they have, the kind of waste that they're emitting, to manage all of that, to balance all of that, to cut all of that out, maybe plant more trees, help society. For all of that, sustainability management comes into. Somebody has asked, isn't chartered accountancy a dying occupation according to a current study? You'll have to send me what study that is, Naomi. Like I said, you will have to keep on upskilling yourself. Is accounting software or artificial intelligence having an impact on the field? 100% yes. It is more efficient, more effective, but we still need a chartered accountant's stamp and signature for an audit to be valid in court. It artificial intelligence usko sign karke court mein valid nahi kara sakta. So I don't really think that it is dying out. Yes, it is maybe getting help from a lot of the fields, a lot of the domains, but it's not completely dying out, I'd say. It's not a new age career, I would say, for sure. Like I said, like it has been there for a long, long time. It will be there for a long, long time in future as well, without any doubt, right? Apart from that, entrepreneurship, anybody, any one of you who's here can be an entrepreneur. If you have a good idea, great idea. We've talked about so many things and demand and requirement of so many things that is going to be there in the future. If you're interested in any of that, entrepreneurship is the way to go. Start a business, start employing people. You will create a better economy too. Economists is an important field, is an important domain, but can be looked at only through mathematics. So if you have mathematics, then economics will become a valid option for you. So if you want to continue into economics, then that's important. Now understand, commerce is something that will that will always have its relevance. Currently, if you guys are aware, I always come back to current affairs and general knowledge and what is happening around you. If you guys are aware, stock markets have been crashing. There is a tariff war going on between two countries. Gold prices have skyrocketed. Gold has crossed 1 lakh. This morning, the prices were, but first time ever, gold has crossed the mark for 1 lakh. So a lot is changing in the financial industry. To understand all this, to analyze all this, to make better portfolios, make better financial understanding, better financial analysis, for all of that, understanding of the commerce field and the domain is very, very important. And as per certain analysis currently, we are entering an age of recession again. We might be in a money crunch, etc. So managing your money becomes even more important now. So in future, when technology takes over, or technology has its role in almost, takeover is the wrong word, I'm sorry, but when technology has its hand in almost everything, that is where money also becomes an important factor into how much technology can you afford, okay, and how well can you invest, or where can you put your money. So that is very important. Some important institutes, Delhi University has some major colleges like Shahid Sukhdev, which is one of the top institutes in the country when it comes to studying business management. Apart from that, IIMs are top institutes in the country when it comes to business management. They do, some 6 IIMs do offer undergrad level business management courses. So you can look at that as well. Economics, again, you will find economics in a lot of universities. Almost all universities have economics as an option, but most of them will ask you to have mathematics. Like St. Xavier, Bombay also has economics and a good course in economics. A lot of private universities, and SRCC is very well known for its course in economics as well. So you have a lot of options when it comes to universities and colleges under commerce. These are some of the top ones, of course, in the country right now, right? For certain courses like chartered accountancy, company secretary, actuarial sciences, cost management accountant, these are not degrees. These are certificates, professional certifications. इनके लिए कोई कॉलेजेस या यूनिवर्सिटीज नहीं है, इनकी अपनी गवर्निंग बॉडीज हैं जहां से सर्टिफिकेशंस और एग्जाम्स होते हैं कंडक्ट. यू हैव टू डायरेक्टली fill forms there and give exams there only. So there are no specific universities for those. All right. They have to be paired with a degree, of course. So if let's say you're doing a degree in economics, you can do actuarial sciences exams with it. Or let's say you're doing a BBA degree, you give chartered accountancy or company secretary exams with it. So you can pair it, of course. Right. All right. Humanities. As I was saying earlier, the speed with which the world is changing, we need to understand the impact it is having on our society, on humans, on us, on you and me, and we need to get adjusted to it and help the next generation adjust well to it as well. The generational gap every year or every next generation is increasing at such a fast pace that to match that in between of that is important. There are humanitarian crises, there are wars starting or happening all around the world, which are having humanitarian effects, for which we need to study the subjects, we need to understand the psyche, we need to understand rules, regulations, laws behind it, and how we can stop these things. For all of that, humanities comes into picture. Psychology, anthropology, these are the areas which help you understand how we came to be who we are today, right? Sociology helps you to understand the structures of society. How many of you have heard, I don't know, different cultures have different sayings, of course. In my culture, I don't know if you can associate to this, but in my culture, a lot of things are said like रात के टाइम झाड़ू नहीं लगाना है, और शाम को nails मत काटो, और Thursday को सर नहीं धोना है. Has anybody of you heard these these things around your homes as well? Yeah. Okay, some of you have heard that. Yes, you guys have heard that, right? So there are reasons to these myths and these stories as well. Like for example, the times when light was short, matlab ek diya jal raha hai ghar mein, was all the light that you could see in the home. रात में झाड़ू लगाना could cause a valuable item to go out of your home, right? So that is why it was said रात में झाड़ू मत लगाओ. Lakshmi leaves the home. Lakshmi as in the goddess of money. So if there's a पैसा, सिक्का, कोई jewelry, any piece that has fallen on the ground, you can't see it, और आप झाड़ू में उसे निकाल देंगे. But in today's time, when we have enough light of the night as well, when we have, you can literally put floodlights anywhere and you can have all the daylight you want, but still it is told that रात को झाड़ू मत लगाओ, right? So there are reasons behind our stories and the legends that we have heard too. So sociology studies and understands all of that. Politics, political sciences, public policy, very important domains. पब्लिक पॉलिसी, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस जैसे एरियाज आप इकोनॉमिक्स और पॉलिटिकल साइंसेज में से किसी के भी बाद आगे फ्यूचर में देख सकते हैं. इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस हेल्प्स यू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू डेलीगेट, हाउ टू मैनेज रिलेशंस इंटरनेशनली, what relations are impacting trade, safety, security, all of that comes under international relations. Public policy, of course, all of this. So Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, or giving free cylinders, or even GST as well. All of these are public policies, right? Making sure that all of the country's population has vaccination done when COVID happened. It's a public policy domain. There are doctors under public policy, there are health experts under public policy, there are economists under it, there are political scientists under it. There are so many people from different areas who are working on public policies that are coming together, right? Law, of course, is a field that is open to all of you. Anybody can pursue law, anyone can get into law. There are certain fields like patent law, jise hum intellectual property right law, for which you need specifically to be from the sciences domains, right? Apart from that, if you want to go into criminal litigation, any other like corporate law or any other specialization of law, Law as a domain is open to all of you. Media, mass communication, journalism, areas like these are open and available to you, right? So for Indian Army, like I had already mentioned, that is also available for everyone, and design as well. For design, the national level institutes like NIFT, if you're looking at fashion, and NID, if you are looking at design in general, or all other areas like graphic design, also NID offers, interior design, textile design, etc. Do you guys know that IITs also offer design? Did you know that? Did anyone know that IITs offer design? You can raise your hand if you know. And a lot of people here are from Mumbai. So IIT Bombay offers design. It's called industrial product design. Delhi also offers the same. There are 5 IITs which offer design courses. The exam for which is called UCEED, UCEED. Delhi and Bombay does not even ask for mathematics to do product design. Maths and science, not even needed. You can be from any stream and you can go to IIT to study design. The other IITs will ask for specifically for sciences to do industrial product design. So NID, NIFT, even IITs as well are some of the top institutes. When it comes to law, CLAT becomes an important exam when it comes to law. And it includes all the NLUs, and certain private universities also accept CLAT scores, of course. So national law universities become important there. For other courses of social sciences and humanities like psychology, etc., that we have talked about, central universities and colleges like St. Xavier in Bombay, or central universities like Delhi University, Banaras Hindu University is a good one when it comes to social sciences and social science related domains. Private universities like Symbiosis Christ in Bangalore can be a really good option in that case. So certain private as well as government central universities can be looked at when you're looking at overall courses of social sciences and humanities too. All right. Okay, so this is an overview of what we have discussed in terms of streams and areas and careers that these streams open up. I'll just check what the questions are.
So there is one question from Naomi.
Yeah.
She's asking, what is the pathway to get into public policy? Should we do a major in UG along with a minor in eco, communication or environment studies, or shall we pursue a niche UG or do masters in public policy?
You can have your undergrad, like I said, public policy is something where people from all domain are required. So you can have environmental sciences in your undergraduation, you can have economics, you can have political sciences, you can have if you're looking at a college which offers a major and a minor combination, that is also great. There are some colleges like Ashoka in Delhi NCR which offers a minor combination in international relations and areas like that. So if it is offering a minor, university is offering a minor in public policy, you can take that. But doing a major in public policy right now, right after 12th, is not something that is recommended. Reason being, public policy experts are really people who are expert in their domain first. So if you are an expert of environmental science first, or an expert of, say, political science, or an expert of environmental sciences first, that is what is important. Public policy should be more looked at as a master's option. I hope that answers your question. Somebody has asked about SIBM as well. Is that, can you tell me the full form? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Is it symbiosis? Are we talking about symbiosis? Okay. If there aren't any more questions at this point. So this college selection and how to pick your colleges, how to choose colleges, there are certain factors that you need to keep in mind when you're considering how to choose a college or a university for yourself. Of course, the courses offered and the curriculum comparison is important. Like I just mentioned, if you're somebody who's interested in environmental engineering, the government universities might not be offering it at the moment because degrees can be might be more traditional, the curriculum might be more traditional, which doesn't offer a scope for a lot of new age options to add there. So if you are somebody who's very sure of that, maybe other colleges like Shalini can be looked into in that case, right? So course curriculum has to be looked into and a comparison has to be made. Location and infrastructure are very, very important. Now, if you're somebody like me who cannot stand the cold, so countries like Canada or areas like, say, Himachal, or going to colleges like that in cities like Dehradun might become too much for you, right? So location matters. Infrastructure wise also, you are staying in a hostel, you're staying on campus, or what are the laboratory facilities, what are the things that the college is offering in terms of, let's say you are somebody who's really good at sports, but the college that you're going to, you play very good cricket, but the college that you're going to does not even have a ground. But playing cricket is important for you. If it is, then that is an important criteria to look into infrastructure when you're looking at colleges, right? Fee structure, of course, very, very important. Knowing the faculty. So just going on the colleges that you're interested in, just going on their website, you will see a list of faculty members under it. You can just check out where they have completed their degrees and their courses and their colleges from, what kind of research, what papers, what areas are they working on right now. That will give you an understanding or an idea that if they are working on something or on areas which you might also be interested in, right? So it helps you that ways. Alumni network, connecting with the respective alumni of different colleges. Easier way can be through LinkedIn. Another way can be through email as well. Alumni will give you the best picture of a college than anybody else. They'll tell you all the where the good food is, or which teachers are good, or which courses are good, or if it is worth it or not. All of that you can hear from the alumni. Placement record must be checked. So a lot of universities do not have their placement records in public domain. A lot of government universities, like for IITs also, this was a new year for them when they have put their placement records in public domain, and it was not something to be very happy about. But otherwise also, private universities, mostly you will see their placement records in public domain, like on their websites also you can see. Then the college and university ranking, you can check this on NIRF or NAC official websites. This is not everything, I agree. This can be one of the factors. Like it cannot be that only ranking dekhkar hi hum ja rahe hain. It can be one of the factors. All right. A question, is there a roadmap for corporate law the same as the 4+2 post-clat, or is it slightly different? Okay, so law in general, when you do it after 12th, there is a 5-year integrated program that a lot of universities, including the NLUs and even an IIM also offer. So you can take up that road, which will be a 5-year course. So that will have either a BA LLB or a BBA LLB course. For corporate law, usually students go for a BBA LLB course. But even with BA LLB, you'll later have corporate law as a specialization if you want to pick up. That won't be a problem. So you can either do that. Another route for law can also be that after 12th, you take admission in a graduation degree. So a graduation like a BA, a BSc, a BTech, or even an MBBS as well, whatever you are interested in or whatever you want to get into. You get admission into an undergrad degree. Now your undergrad degree can be anywhere from 3 to 5 years. Like let's say if you're doing MBBS, that's a 5-year. Let's say if you're doing engineering, that's a 4-year program. Let's say if you're doing any other course, that's a 3-year. Under NEP, New Education Policy, under that, a lot of degrees are turning into 4-year with some options here and there of a 3-year degree as well. So after 12th, directly, you do a 3 or a 4-year undergrad degree, after which you get another option to give law exam at PG level, like CLAT PG, ALET PG, all these exams happen at PG level as well, after which you can do just LLB. Then the LLB will be a 3-year LLB. So right now, after 12th, this is a 5-year integrated course, BBA or a BA LLB course. After your graduation, it becomes a 3-year LLB course. I hope that answers your question. Which brings us towards the end of this discussion. Thank you so much for those who participated. Thank you so much who were so keen and who listened to throughout the discussion. We are open if there are any other questions or anything that you'd like to add, any suggestions, feedbacks, anything. I think I'm a little over the time, but that's okay. I hope so. All right. So anything at all. And once again, thank you so much to the whole VIBGYOR team for having us here, for inviting us, and for such a great organization of the whole session, such a smooth flow and maintaining everything in between. Thank you so much. We are highly, highly grateful for being here. Thank you so much once again to the whole team. All right. I don't think there are any other questions. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you so much, Ojsvi. So, as we conclude this insightful session of What Next, we extend a heartfelt thanks to Ms Ojsvi Sharma for guiding us through the landscape of academic streams, new age careers, and practical decision making with such clarity and depth. Your expertise and thoughtful inputs have been truly enriching. And to all our participants, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We hope you feel more confident and better equipped to support your child's transition from beyond grade 10. We value your feedback, and please take a moment to share your thoughts through the feedback form shared in this message. Let us know if there are any topics that you would want us to cover in our upcoming webinars. Your suggestions will help us bring more meaningful such sessions for you in the future. And for any additional queries or guidance, please feel free to connect with us on 600 3700. Stay connected with VIBGYOR Group of Schools as we continue to bring the programs that will empower you, your child's academic and personal journey too. I wish you all and the child a very best for the road ahead. Thank you so much and have a great evening ahead.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.